All right, guys, today we're going to talk about how to start a targeted or a cyclical ketogenic diet. Okay, cyclical or ketogenic diet, they're like keto with carbs. Normally, when you're on a ketogenic diet, you take in as few carbohydrates as possible. Your body has no other energy source but to break down fat into ketones and use ketones for energy. Targeted ketogenic diet means you're in ketosis most of the time, but you take in a little bit of carbs around your workouts just to power yourself through the workout, okay? So if you're an elite level athlete, you can still get a really good workout in, even though most of the time you're in ketosis. Cyclical ketogenic diet means every few days, every few weeks, depends person to person, you take in carbs for like a day or most of a day, okay? Fill up the glycogen stores in your body, and then you go right back to burning fat for fuel the rest of the week, okay? So the question is, how do you start a cyclical or targeted ketogenic diet? How do you start a diet of keto with carbs? And the answer is, you don't start a targeted or a cyclical ketogenic diet, okay? You go straight fats and proteins, keep the carbs as low as possible until your body is fat adapted. Your body's fat adapted, your body's actually in a state of ketosis. It's actually breaking down fat, the fat you eat and the fat in your body for fuel, okay? Then, if you have a reason to add carbohydrates into your diet in the form of a cyclic or a targeted ketogenic diet, then after you're fat adapted, you can go ahead and do that. The reason I'm saying this is because I think some people think that, you know, it's hard sometimes to get your body fat adapted. It's hard sometimes to get through the keto flu. I've done videos about that, you know, where you take out the carbs, you feel terrible without carbs at first before ketosis kicks in and your body's burning fat for fuel. Okay, so I think a lot of people think that if they could have carbohydrates with their ketogenic diet, that they can skip over the whole concept of getting your body fat adapted, going to ketosis, etc. And nothing could be further from the truth. The facts of the matter is, if you're going to go on a cyclic or targeted ketogenic diet, you first need to get your body fat adapted. You need to be doing well with protein and fat, with no carbs whatsoever, plenty of energy, no more keto flu, feeling great. Then, if you for some reason need extra carbohydrates in your body, you need extra performance, then you can go ahead and do that. Now, why would you want to do that? Okay, Vince Gironda, who created the steak and eggs diet, or the meat, eggs, and water diet, or the maximum definition diet, which basically was you would just eat 2 or 3 meals a day, depending upon your physique goals, of meat, eggs, and water, okay? That was basically a ketogenic diet. Then, every few days or once a week, you would have every few days a small meal of carbs, or once a week. Now, the reason is he was training some of the best bodybuilders in the world at the time. Larry Scott is a great example, the guy who won the first 2 Mr. Olympias. Okay, he did nutritional counseling for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, when Arnold Schwarzenegger lost the Mr. Universe to Frank Zane, Joe Weider still took him under his wing. He's like, you lost, but you know, I'm gonna fix you up. And one of the first things he did was send Arnold Schwarzenegger to Vince Gironda to get his diet right because he wasn't lean enough. That's why he lost to Frank Zane. So, you know, somebody like that needs a little bit of glycogen in their body, okay? Because, you know, they need like this real extra pump. I personally do great. Okay, I came out of a really long, lean bulk, zero carbs, okay, high fat, and I was 10.2% body fat. I got very strong, I put on a lot of muscle, and I never had a problem getting a pump. But some bodybuilders complain they can't get the same pump. So it might make sense to have a small meal of carbs every few days to put the glycogen back in your body, okay, or a day, which is what most of the bodybuilders of the 70s did, once a week to get more glycogen in their body. Then the rest of the week, they're on keto. But like I said, these people are some of the best bodybuilders in the world at the time, okay? And the same thing with a targeted ketogenic diet. I've had a lot of people tell me they're boxers, they're MMA fighters, they're maybe explosive weightlifters, like Olympic weightlifters, power lifters, and they feel great on the diet, except they can't quite perform the same elite level in the gym. It might make sense for them before their workouts to take in some carbs, okay, to get to get a little bit of glucose into their muscles, okay, so they could go ahead and actually perform at a very elite level. Most people don't need this. So, like I said, please don't see this as, I could be on a ketogenic diet but still have carbs. I don't have to go through the keto flu. I don't have to get fat adapted. I just go ahead and take in carbs. Maybe a low carb diet is good for you, taking in, still not being in ketosis, not being fat adapted, still burning carbs for fuel, just taking in fewer carbs, than most people take in, okay? That might be it for you, okay? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you want to go on a proper targeted or cyclical ketogenic diet, step number one, get your body fat adapted. And then after you're performing at a very good level on fat, just on fat and protein, then you could start slowly adding in your carbohydrates, whatever way you choose. But first, you still have to get used to a standard ketogenic diet before you can go on targeted or cyclical ketogenic diets.